Hey, what's up? This is Sifu Cuddle, and I have another wall bag drill for you guys. Now, I always need to mention this in the very beginning. I teach Choi Lei Fut style Kung-Fu. So wall bags are very popular in Choi Lei Fut, in Wing Chun, and even in other martial arts. So everybody has their own approach to drilling and working with a wall bag. So if it's different from your style, don't worry. This is just how we approach the wall bag in this style. Now, there's always some important things too that I want to mention, but very first is also, I use a 2-section wall bag. If you guys have a 1-section wall bag or a 3-section wall bag, that's totally fine. Adapt these drills to however you want. That it really doesn't matter. They're very universal. Okay. Now, 3 very important things that I always mention before we work on the wall bag is 1, don't go by the sound to indicate correctness. A lot of these strikes that we're doing involve the knuckles themselves, which is a very concentrated striking surface, much smaller. So if you go by the sound of the knuckles hitting, as compared to trying to strike with a much larger surface, you're going to notice a big sound difference. But this is going to be a bad striking position if I'm just going for the larger striking area. I'm going to be hitting the wrong parts of the knuckles. I want to use the sharpest ones. So the sound is not going to be your best indicator. 2, don't rush the technique. So a lot of what we work on is to develop stability, power, and structure. And that means that you should keep your hand in contact with the bag until you initiate the next strike. So don't worry about bouncing off of these just so you can look like you're fast, because you're missing half the training there. You have heavy bags that'll swing out of the way, the cardio bags will tip, the speed bag bounces, and even a focus mitt will have some bounce to it. The wall bag is very unique in it has just a little bit of give, but other than that, it's going nowhere. So that resistance we want to use to develop our training as well. And number 3 is do not overtrain your hands. So this is a very common mistake with beginners. You hit it as hard as you can, you scrape your knuckles on it, you make them bleed, and you have to stop. Or you bruise your hand and you have to stop. Anytime we stop, that's going to impede our training because it takes us back to square one while we wait to recover. So if you build little by little by little by little, you're going to have the best results. Okay? So keep those in mind. Now, I did mention the sound is not going to be your best indicator, but we are going to use palm strikes, and palm strikes are very loud. So this one you can kind of overlook that first rule. One of the things that I want to do is I want to isolate each movement. So we're going to take some almost like Buddha palm techniques for the first couple. Now, this is called a cup jang. Anytime you hear jang is palm. Cup is like knocking on a door. This is cup cherry, right? So cup jang is that same kind of action, okay? A very big forward slap. Now, depending on where you have your hangers or whatever your hand position is, you can also change the angle a little bit too. I like to go a little bit more diagonal so that when I hit this one, I don't worry about hitting any of the screws up on the top, or I have a weird wrist position. So I like to come a little bit diagonal. I'll hang out on the side of the bag. Now, from here, we can use the backhand to follow up, okay? When you do this, try to hit with the knuckles, not so much that you let the hand spread out over the top. So you have palm, knuckles, palm, knuckles, palm, knuckles, palm, knuckles. Okay. Another one that we can use is called Tae Jong. Tae Jong is like a push, but a strike at the same time. So we're going to keep both fingers pointing in the same direction. And this is one that you should definitely alternate from side to side. Now, it usually goes with the open side of the body when we strike. So we're going to turn and then hitting with right here on the palm. Think of that straight up and down, like you have a line right here. You're going to drive that palm into it. Okay, so we connect to the bag and press. Now, these bags aren't super wide, so you'll notice there's a little bit of an angle and positioning adjustment that is made here. For form, you would want to see it like this. Now, I like to do this in switching sides, driving the palm in, making sure that my body is behind it. If I let go, I'm going to remain in the same position. My body's engaged. If I'm not leaning. If somebody's leaning and they let go, they're gonna fall into the bag. So on this one, we wanna stay engaged, pressing forward, and then listen to the body, make sure the body is still connected here. Okay? Now the last one for this, I want to work it on Foon Jong. Foon Jong is pressing palm. Now think of like you're going to make a triangle with your hands. We're going to strike just like this. Now coming from up and over the top, striking downward. And this is another one that can be used with both legs forward. So I like to switch back and forth on this. Okay, dropping hands in, keeping the pressure forward after the strike. Okay. Right? Those are some simple techniques, but they can really develop the palms. Again, don't go for the sound right away. First get the structure, and then the sound will happen on its own. Okay? If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment down below. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button, and also make sure you subscribe. If you check out my Patreon, there's a lot more in-depth applications and tutorials, so check out that link at the top. And you can always catch me on pretty much every other social media platform. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and of course YouTube. All right? Till next time, keep training. This is Sifu Cuddle.
Bam! Fist with a forearm.